Good afternoon, everyone, and it's happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. It's my 51st birthday today, and I've decided to run the scenario from the World War III Team Yankee Warsaw Pact book. This one is the fight from Brundenstahl 432. Now, this one, as listed in the book, was pitting a Polish force against a West German and Danish force. How I've actually done it is I've put up an East German and a British force because both of these I have not put on the table as yet. So these are my reserves for the British. It is the Gordon Highlanders Airborne Support Section. Basically, these are going to be a bunch of Milan armed troops that are going to come in and sort of be a little fire brigade at some point. The choppers I painted up and built over the winter. Also, I was able to acquire a Chinook from the local hobby store out by our airport, which I really appreciate because they have parking and it's not in the middle of a major city. It's actually right next to an international airport. It's quite good. Now, well, I said that I haven't pitted some of these troops before. The majority of the figures and kits, yes, I have. However, the Irish Guards mechanized company with RA support also have some lovely new fellows, such as the Queen's Yeomanry, which are going to act trying to cover that little bridge. The Queen's Own Yeomanry are a TA section, which is quite nice that they actually have reservists coming in. I also have everything that the Irish Guards need. Basically, it's the whole kit and caboodle, so to speak. Other RA support, I have a Spartan blowpipe battery. I have a MLRS battery. And there's an Abbott battery. And oh my, check out my brand new nifty fellows. And also, I should say the RAF are here with a Harrier flight. Goodness gracious me. The new additions to this are the Royal Hussars with a warrior section. And we have a fully kitted out, armored squadron of the Death or Glory boys, the 17th, 21st Lancers. So we have a headquarter tank with 1, 2, 3, 4 Sabre squadrons. So that's actually quite nice. And they are, of course, are being backed up by the Queen's Dragoon Guards, which is the Recce squadron, which is deployed to the front. And they're reporting that, oh my, they have a very large amount of Germans coming towards them. So I have a Spartan support troop covering that bank by the bridge, covering the East German objective. The Scimitar and Scorpion sections are guarding that. Now, a little answer to a question: why are some of my fellows in their camo pattern and 2 are basic green? Well, the basic green ones are also part of the Iranian force, but my attitude is until I can actually buy enough stuff to outfit everybody, if you're with a country, you're going to be deployed with it. So that's that. My chieftains back here, I do have to paint up a fair bit of them in their British markings, but it's the same thing. The chieftains were also used by the Iranians, hence why I have the headquarter tank and at least 1 full squadron with their Stilbur armor, while the other 2 in the rear here are just regulars, and that's to indicate that the Iranians did not have the Cild brew, as far as I know. So, coming around with my lovely decoration in my garage, I also have my Soviet Union flag. I have my NATO flag, and a new addition, obviously, is the territory of Nunavut, where I taught last year and had a pretty good time doing it. Coming up around on the flank of the East Germans. The East Germans have been able to upgrade some of their firepower vis-a-vis the Czechs. They now have an RM-70 battery. This is another thing. When the Warsaw Pact book came out, some of the stuff was upgraded. And also, the main reason why the East Germans exploded onto the table was because I bought the, what is it? The BMP and the T-72 box sets. Now, the only thing that I haven't built out of those as of yet are some of the aircraft, and that's because I need super glue, and this winter, with the way inflation and things have been going in Canada, it's been a little tight to be able to pick up additional things. So everything that's been on the table has been pre-Christmas built and everything else. So at some point, I'm going to get super glue and finish off the aircraft for them. However, I'm going to Canadian Forces Base Gagetown for training this summer, so we'll see what happens. My T-72Bs. These are the newer ones, which I built up, and they now have the explosive reactive blocks. So I've given these ones for this game to the East Germans. However, they could fall into, say, the Polish or the Soviets as well. So I'm going to give them a generic coloring once I can get some more paint. The white on these is not a winter weathering effect. It's actually a weird effect that I got off of the Gorilla Glue, which I used to build. And it's, I don't know if it's part of the chemical reaction, but it works. They're together. As well, my Panzer Battalion has a T-55 AM2, and these are the souped-up T-55s that the East Germans and or everybody else in the Warsaw Pact were starting to field because, hey, we had a lot of tanks and we didn't want them all blown up rather quickly. So I have one section here. There's a headquarters. There's with the commissar, or he wouldn't be a commissar, he'd be some sort of officer. My German isn't good. And he's, these fellows actually have the AT-10 Stabler missile. The rest of my T-55 battalion that goes along with it, the rest of them, some of them have been up-armored. I have one company up-armored, and I have another company which is your basic vanilla types. Supporting the East German tanks are obviously a BMP Moltschützen battalion, which are mounted in BMP 1s. And I have a weapons section mounted in the BTR 60s. For other support for the East Germans, coming around, is actually, I have a battery of Gaskins for AA supports. We also have the ever lovely Spandrels for anti-tanks. So they're like a, I can't remember the German for the anti-tank battery. And a BRDM, which he also needs to have a generic paint job done on him. To my left, there's also a BMP-1 section, which is going to act as a recce section. And the reason why I've decided to make one of these as recce section is when I visited the Canadian War Museum in Ottawa last September, the BMP one that they actually had on display was actually a recce vehicle, which was pretty cool. So at some point I'll be able to mock those up as recce's. Now, you may also wonder, hey, why isn't it fully completed? Well, therein comes the next question. When you live on a budget and you want to be economical and you want to still field stuff, you basically take what you can. And as you can notice on some of my other British fellows, it's the same way. I've mocked them up as in cover with cam nets and everything else, because otherwise I'd have such a huge spares collection that it's not funny. So anyway, until I can rectify that, those fellows will be as they are. And I don't play in tournaments or anything else. I play by myself because I a lot of times don't have an extra opponent. So I just go from there. So that being said, as I just mentioned, that I actually do solo play a lot. I'm actually using what Battlefront Miniatures came up during the pandemic with, which is a simulated AI, which is I basically have this little board that I got for myself, made it up, and that tells you. So it also shows you how to your deployment and setup, which I didn't use this time. I just went with what the deployment was in the book. But the maneuvers and reserves are basically going to be following that. So I'm going to celebrate my 51st birthday by having this game, and at the end I'll show you what happened.